So that would be the outline of that presentation, a general, presentation of UNIVERSET. I will not go into detail because, if you have some other question for the global overview of and detailed overview of the UNIVERSET project, please refer to the website. I will describe, I will give you a global overview of the WP3, which is dedicated to, let's say, common courses and diplomas. And we'll switch to the characteristics of a course in the WP3 framework, what could be, and I will provide you with the contacts with WP3 and WP4 in your home universities, and then that presentation will be followed by the question and answer phase. So, about general overview of the project, you can recognize here the 5 partners, which are the 5 cornerstones of that project: Université fédérale de Toulouse Midi-Pyrénées, HHU in Dusseldorf, Le University of Technology, Université de Luxembourg, and AGH in Krakow in Poland. So here is the website from the for our project, in which you can find a full description of the project, the different committees, and so on, and the objectives. But probably I'm not completely sure that you know that below Université fédérale de Toulouse, there are 5 partners, local partners, which are involved: INSEEIHT Super-Héros, INP, Toulouse Business School, Université Jean Jaurès, and Université Paul Sabatier. And altogether, we cover a large spectrum of domains and disciplines, from science and engineering, business, law, social sciences, arts, languages, and medicine. But UNIVERSET partnership also includes partners who are not academics, or who are not from the academic world, such as some public partners, such as local or national or international agencies. You can recognize here a lot of them. Students have to be highly involved in our project, so that's one of the reasons why we tried to involve. We were successful indeed to involve the European student networks from the different countries here, all the countries who are partners in this project. And as well, we also have some the support of a lot of institutional and private partners, such as the whole lot you can recognize on this slide. Going from small associations to very big one and big companies, such as Airbus, of course, SES and Thales, and all of them that you have in here. That's my last slide for the description of the global partnership and the objectives of the UNIVERSET program. Our project is to build a comprehensive university in the space sector, but pay attention to the fact that the space sector includes all the disciplines. It's not related only to rockets and satellites, but it involves different domains which are listed here: science, engineering, economy, business, finance, medicine, health, social, human science, horticulture studies, innovation, patents, and entrepreneurship. And we will come back to these domains later on in the future slides. And as well, we defined 4 different segments: space for Earth and humanity, which is the closed space, close to space; sustainable space, which is mostly related to the way to access space, to go there and to launch some elements such as satellites around Earth; space settlements, the lunar bases, of course, and space exploration, that would be for let's say listening to the space waves and going further and looking for exoplanets and so on. So what about the funding? Funding have been given to us for the next 3 years. So the project we are discussing here, I'm presenting, is a 3 years project. The T0, I mean the starting date was in November, last November the 1st. So 3 years from 1st of November 2020. So we have mostly two kind of supports. The program we are discussing here is related to training. It is funded by Erasmus Plus and national fundings as well, and in our different countries. But we also had we also created another project which is dedicated to research. Its name is Beyond Université, and it is funded by the H2020 program, and the SFWS stands for Science for and with Society, which is one of the lines, so many lines in the H2020 program. So that's a line which was dedicated to that kind of research-oriented European university programs. But after these 3 years, then we'll have to pass a kind of evaluation, and we hope we will be selected for 4 more years. So that's why you will have, in my presentation, sometimes you will have 3 years vision and 7 years vision. So the objective could be different, you know. We will have a target for 3 years and the more ambitious targets for 7 years. But let's concentrate on the 3 years program right now. So, well, that was not my last slide. Who leads what? Who does what in this program? So everybody has to be involved in all the work packages, of course, but there are some leaders for the different packages. WP1 is for project management. It is led by Université de Toulouse. WP7 is for communication and dissemination, and Université de Luxembourg is the boss. And the other programs, the other work packages, as you can see, are distributed to the different partners. Multilinguism and mobility is for University of Dusseldorf. Interdisciplinary and cross-sectoral curricula is for Université de Toulouse, and that's the work package I will describe. Innovative educational methods is led by Université of Technology from Luleå. Luxembourg is as well the leader of University of WP5, which is related to entrepreneurship and innovation. And WP6 is led by AGH, University of Science and Technology in Krakow. And that work package is related to equity, inclusion, and diversity. Overview of WP3. So I will not describe all the work packages, but only WP3, which is the one we are highly involved in. And my next slides after that one will focus on WP3.3. It is the way to complete an existing catalog of courses and developing just a few, 3 ECTS. We will develop some courses, 10 courses at least, which will have to be 3 ECTS long. So what about that WP3? Well, the first task we'll have to map all the existing courses in the different partners in the different universities. What are the existing courses so far? WP3.2, task number 2, we will have to create a questionnaire for the different stakeholders. We mean private and small companies, different agencies, in order to identify what will be the competencies, the skills that our current student don't have, that we will have to work on, and probably the future competencies for their future jobs, including the fact that, one day we will create lunar bases. So what will be the jobs related to lunar bases? So probably these jobs do not exist so far. So we have to identify with the agencies and companies what could be the competencies that we will have to target in the future. So following this list, WP3.3 will be related to the courses that we will have to design. I'll come back with a lot of details later on. And the other task are related to, let's say, different other things, such as defining, a common diploma in a 3-year target, 3-year vision, or in a 7-year vision, trying to work on common or joint diploma, which will comply with the local regulations, of course. We'll try to develop, short programs as well, and, semesters exchange, joint bachelor programs, joint master programs, and joint doctoral programs. And please pay attention to the fact that in a 3-year vision, we will try to identify the new possible program and work on them. But the implementation of these new programs, either for bachelor or for master or for doctorals, will be only, let's say, will be operated and turned into concrete elements in the 7-year vision. It means after the initial 3 years period. So let's go into detail for the characteristic of what could be a WP3 course. So as mentioned before, we have to, altogether, the whole partnership, we have to define 10 courses. 10 courses will be the minimum number of courses that we will have to propose by the end of the 3 years period, the initial 3 years period, will have to be proposed by the whole consortium. So the target of each course will be 3 ECTS. Previously, we thought it could be between 2 and 3 ECTS, but if we have a look at the Erasmus program guide, which you have a link over there, so then you can see that's something I got from this guide. You can clearly see that if we want to create blended intensive programs, blended mobility, which could be between 5 days and 30 days long, and that physical mobility will be combined with virtual collaborative on-learn exchanges, then this way the minimum of CTS that have to be awarded is 3 ECTS, 3 credits. So that's why we mention that all the courses have to be 3 ECTS long in order to be eligible to this funding, because we want to, as mentioned before, we want to develop, let's say, summer, autumn, winter, spring schools, short-term mobility, and then we will have to fund this mobility. And to be eligible to Erasmus Plus funding, then our courses, blended mobility, would be kind of for one course for each and every courses among the 10 that we will have, the minimum 10 courses that we will have to develop in order to be eligible to Erasmus funding. Then the number of ECTS should be 3. So 10 courses minimum, 3 ECTS, which would be around 30 hours for the students. So we developed a 5-star system for these new courses. 5 stars will be related to each of these 5 points here listed, and I will detail these different stars and different points. European, that could be one of the characteristics of the new courses. Interdisciplinary, based on active learning techniques, include a large amount of digital content, and based on the multilingualism principles. To be labeled Université, a course has to have at least 3 among these 5 stars, at least 3. A course which will not satisfy the requirements for 3 stars will not be labeled Université. each partner assigns the stars according to the information that will be given by the course leaders in each country, and according to a document that which will be published soon, and which fully described the different requirements for the different 5-star listed here. And these stars will be given by the academic council, which is composed of representatives of the different partners. In the second phase of the project, I mean, after the 3 years initial duration period, then we will try to increase the number of stars for each courses, either for the new one and for the existing one. So, well, each partner can propose as many courses as they have resources. So 10 is the minimum number. But if you want to create, let's say, 2, 3, 4 courses in each of your universities, that will be 20 by the end of the program. That will be fine. But well, you will only have the money you are expected to have now. You will not have more money because you want to create, well, more courses. You know, each of the partners have its own budget, either given by the Erasmus Plus or by the local agencies, and we have to cope with this and to stay in these limits. So you can propose as many courses as you want, but well, there will be a limit due to the resources that you will have. Well, the courses have to, well, are intended to be integrated into some existing or new programs, or to be part of the new programs or diplomas that we would like to develop within the 7-year program. So what about the stars? European is quite easy to understand. Of course, you will have the European star as soon as your course will be developed between 2 university partners. Well, 2 different countries, 2 different universities from 2 different partners. Well, that's great. So assuming that the partnership would be balanced, of course, well, the European star will be granted. Interdisciplinarity will be related to different fields. And you can see here the academic fields. So you have to understand that it is a strong interdisciplinarity. So as an example here, well, I'm from electrical engineering, and if I want to create something with my colleague from computer science in Luleo, for example, that will not be eligible because all these fields are related to science and engineering. But if, as well, if my electrical engineering background is in relationship with someone else from another university dedicated who works on innovation, patents, and entrepreneurship, then, well, that will be fine, and that will be eligible to this interdisciplinarity criteria. So that's the matrix we would like to cover with all the 10 courses. And for example, I'm working on well, electricity and electrical machines and how to control them, how to supply them. And I think we will need these elements for the rockets and the satellites, and of course for space exploration and discovery, and probably as well in space settlements. But so this way, because we cover 2 academic fields and the 2 application segments, then we could tag, that's why I put the green color here in these 4 cases, 4 boxes. Then we could tag these 4 boxes there. So that's the way we defined the interdisciplinarity between academic fields in order, and we'll try to cover all together all the different fields and segments. So here are the segments. Here are some examples of the application segments to be more clear. So when we say our Earth, it's related to teledetection, natural resources, geodata, either for agriculture or navigation. Sustainable space is related to, of course, science and technology, rockets, satellites, and so on, and all the things related to, well, it is not an exhaustive list, you know. We probably forgot something. So if you want us to add some new elements, well, let's discuss. But these elements are just as examples. And space exploration and discovery, well, it's related to robotics, to space architecture, mission planning, planetology, space probes, and so on. And space settlement and resources will need some competencies, skills, and activities in architecture, agriculture, medicine, health, space navigation, sociology, and so on, and arts, to tell stories about all these elements. So in the next slides, I will give you some details on the other stars, and that one is related to active learning techniques. So active learning techniques will require the active support of WP3, which is led by Université of Luleå, and that's part of the document that will be available to describe the courses, the star system. So the students will to get the star, you will have well, the possibility to use some of these methods which are listed here, but this is a non-exclusive list of ideas. As examples, students could be considered as actors. They will contribute to teaching by creating materials, of course, or by teaching to other students. Would be completely pertinent when we will have some different students coming from different backgrounds and universities, and people from one university and background will teach some, let's say, basic elements to the other group, and as well in the other direction. So students being teachers would be a good way to contribute to these active learning techniques. Personal learning network that would be developed by Luleå as well. It's based on the fact that the students will develop their own skills using the digital contents and the digital networks, the professional network as well, or maybe during their personal use of these social networks. Of course, active learning techniques will have to use a lot of problem-based learning and solving. As well, students will be high contributors in the modules, and flipped classroom will be a possibility, of course. And I would like to mention that a dedicated seminar will be soon organized by Luleå Technical University, and I will give you the date. And if you don't have it right now, well, I will be happy to send you the invitation for this kind of seminar. The digital content is related to different tools and functions. By functions, I mean, let's say the words that are in bold here. For example, specialized real-time polling devices with smartphone, for example, and that's real-time. You know, where you have during the course you have the students and you give them you ask them some questions that have to be answered on their smartphones. So real-time. Multiple choice questions could be asked through some dedicated tools such as iQuiz, Socrative, Booklab, or Plickers, or whatever. But we also have we would also like to use some asynchronous polling systems, such as the one which were possible with the Moodle platform, with an objective of formative assessment or summative assessments, or either exams. That would be another function that could be included in the modules in the course we have to develop, and which will contribute to give this module the digital content star. as well, in order to extend the multiple choice practice by written possible discussion, and MyDelight or Elastic web platforms could be used. That would be another possibility. Social annotation platform, that would be used for flipped classroom, for example, while a teacher, professor puts on the platform some material, and that could be text, video, and so on, and that documents could be written. The students can write some comments or questions or interact with other students or with the professor, and the professors get the whole lot by the end of the sequence in order to, let's say, to come back in front of the students and to provide some answers to the questions, to or maybe to put in evidence some contents that has been written by the students, and to make the students discuss. Well, that's a preliminary phase to, that's part of the inverted classroom, indeed, a flipped classroom. Of course, social annotation platforms such as, let's say, digital post-it with Mural or Padlet as examples, and also some other things which could be more technical indeed, but active interactive simulation platforms, which could be managed by PHIT, platform with pre-recorded experiments such as Ariel, which would be highly developed intensively developed by one of the University of Toulouse members. And as well with the remote control of, different devices, experimental devices, and Labsland could be one of the elements for that function. And last but not least, ADN, Aerospace Digital Nuggets, and M-Learning platform, as well developed by Isaïe Supero, a member of Université de Toulouse. And the development of these elements, Ariel, IDN, and MLearn platform, are completely included into WP4 in the program of WP4. Just three last elements. The names which are in bold here will be supported by WP4 and will be encouraged, and there will be some special training sessions devoted to these elements. And those who are on the line are free tools, and of course the use of these tools is highly encouraged. And the last last information, a dedicated seminar will be organized soon by Université Fédérale de Toulouse and Luleå Technical University. That would not be an intensive training program for one of these tools, that would be just an overview, and the people involved in will describe the different functions here and give you some, and give the people who will attend, give some elements just to show what is possible, and but for intensive training program for several of these tools such as Ariel, ADN, or MLearn platform, there will be some dedicated seminars, but later. So last star is related to multilingualism. So we would like to distinguish, to make a difference between the 3 years objective and the 7-year vision. So for the 3 years objective, well, I would like to mention first that these results are given to you. Well, this is probably not the final version, because this has to be discussed with the European partners, and that's the preliminary version. So, but more or less, we think that would not be very far from the final one. So we would like to distinguish two different objectives and levels. For the 3 years vision, then we would like to that the courses would be developed following two different native languages. which could be English, but not English will not be mandatory. And you will decide, and as we'll mention later, that you will see that this item will be very flexible. But in the 7-year vision, we would like to, of course, to be given, well, to include 3 different languages, but one of these languages will have to be English. So, what are the propositions? What can we propose to reach these 3 years objectives? And to get the multilingualism star. So there are some examples here. The professors could create 2 full versions of the course in 2 different languages. For asynchronous, let's say, online learning, well, an example could be that the course, if there is any, could be given in one language, but with subtitles. Subtitles in the other language. Whereas, as an example, some French professor gives a talk in French, but there are subtitles in Polish because that course is given in the 3-year program, is only given to people from France, to students from France and Poland. Well, so that is one possibility. Or obviously, actually, we can also create a second audio track, French and Polish, or English, of course, but English is not mandatory. So you can have an appropriate mix between oral and content in both languages. Of course, exchanging during projects and discussion with the students could be given in order to be understandable to all the students, including the native languages. If the students understand the language in which the professor gives his talk or his supervision, specific documents such as films, for example, the original version of a film could be given in the original language, but with the subtitles and with explanation as well. Teaching by a tandem of teachers from different native languages, where the teaching could be as well given by one teacher fluent in both languages. Icebreaker games could be included in the program. According to me, icebreaker games should be mandatory in each of the courses. So if my students work with some students from Sweden, then we should both, or Poland or Germany or Luxembourg, we should include something, a short icebreaker game in both languages. How to say hello, how are you, my name is something, thank you, bye-bye, what is your favorite dish or something. So icebreaker game based on something. And people from WP2, which is related to mobility and multilingualism, will help us to create these icebreaker games, which will be included, as I wish, in all the 10 courses that we will have to develop. And of course, collaboration with WP6, which is related to equity, inclusion, and diversity, could be given, created, could be done in order to include sign language in the course, which could be considered as one of the 2 languages required for in the 3-year objective. So in all the cases, a lexicon will have to be created, including the different important technical terms in both languages. And I would like to mention, I would say that a space dictionary will also be created. I don't remember exactly in which WP3 it has to be created, but anyway, a space dictionary illustrating the different concepts of space in the different languages of the consortium will be created. Well, of course, the students have to be aware of the languages before the courses in which the courses will be given. So it will have to be clearly mentioned. And regarding evaluation, once again, we can distinguish, we can make a difference between the 3-year objective and the 7-year objective. And as well, some differences could be set between the bachelor level and the master level. So at the bachelor level, probably the native languages could be the languages required for the evaluations. As for the master's level, where the students are, well, let's say, expected or supposed to have a better level in English, then the assessments could be written as well in English, but also or in both of the 2 languages used for the teaching in this module. So you can say that, you can see here clearly that for this item, it is quite flexible indeed. You can't do what you want, but you can have many possibilities. But all these requirements are necessary to obtain the multilingualism star, just to obtain that star. If you don't want to obtain that star, then, and if, for example, if you want to, if both partners want to have their courses in English, well, that will not be eligible for that multilingualism star. But if you have a significant use of digital tools, if you come from 2 different countries, if you use active learning techniques, and or if you are interdisciplinary, then you will have the 4 other stars. So, well, I'm not telling you that all these requirements are fully necessary to be eligible to university, but only to get the multilingualism star. So if you want to have more information on the digital tools, a detailed seminar will be given here, and the large number of people already received that invitation, but I could maybe we could I could put the links in the chat in some minutes, or probably Manon can do this if she has the links. But anyway, you will be provided with these invitations. So digital tools, there will be a dedicated seminar on May the 7th from 10 to 12, given by Université de Toulouse and Université of Luleå. And on May the 17th, specific seminar will be given thanks to Université of Luleå. And as mentioned before, you will have the full detail of the invitation. What a course consists of? So there are some examples. So as mentioned before, a course, that's kind of summary indeed. That slide. A course has to have 3 among 5 stars to be labeled labeled by Université. The target of each course is 3 ECTs, so more or less 30 hours for the students. So it doesn't mean that the students have to be in front of a professor or professors teaching during 30 years, but as you will see there, the module could include lectures, conferences, but also projects during which the students will work with a certain degree of autonomy. So it does not require a module, a course, 30 hours of a course of lectures indeed, but the course could be composed of lectures given by the teaching staff from the different institutions. It could include as well conferences given by the non-academic world, such as companies, space agencies as well. And all those things, recorded or conferences, could be recorded or not, could be synchronous or asynchronous. Of course, if you want them to be asynchronous, you will have to record these conferences or lectures and to make them available online. A course could include, can include student projects, in multidisciplinary groups or in groups coming from several universities, and those groups would be supervised by teachers from different countries and universities of the consortium. They could include as well training or information sessions on innovation, startup patterns, and so on. We could think about including in the course some practical, experimental lab work sessions, which could be given either at home in their own university with our own equipment, assuming that the skills are the targeted skills are identical, or those practical labs could be possible as well on some remote control systems or with distance simulation systems as well. But we could end as well either, or we can also think about organizing 1 or 2 weeks of physical meeting for lectures and for common work during autumn, winter, spring, summer school. Well, in order to do many things, such as either launch a student project and or complete the project or organize the presentation, or both. I mean, we can have a first session of, let's say, summer, autumn school, and then run the project, and then in the summers, in the winters, have another meeting, possibly at the same place or at another place, gathering all the students for, well, let's say the final presentation of the project. We can during these summer, spring, and so on short periods, we can also with the students experiment something such as launch of balloons or rockets. So that's some example coming from science and engineering, because I'm from that background, but you can invent what you want. And or as well participate in a specific event, which could be a specific hackathon, a job fair, a meeting with some VIP people coming from the European or US space agencies or something like that, or astronauts, if possible. And finally, that course will be concluded by an evaluation, which will have to be synchronous or not. You will decide. People in charge of the courses, of the development of the courses, will decide, and a final certificate will be created to, let's say, recognize the involvement of the students in these courses and to give them this free ECTS. But we think about something like a supplement diploma, something else that to be given to the students. But that point is still under discussion. So what about the agenda? Time is ticking, of course, and we would like to obtain the list of the possible courses that will be designed before summer. Before summer, you can see C2 here, which is the proposition of courses. So we expect to obtain the list of the courses with some preliminary details in June, next June. And the choice of courses will be, will have to be made. Well, the first lot, the first bunch of courses will have to be chosen before summer. Next academic year, 21-22, will be devoted to the design of the courses. So we will have a full year to design the course. And the last year of the program, 22, from September 22 to the end of the project, will be the room for the course implementation. Indeed, the way to proceed to do the lectures, to have the lectures, the different elements I described before: lectures, conferences, student projects, summer, winter, and so on, schools, and to have a report on this course implementation, and as a feedback, defining the way to improve what we did, because we think that we'll have to provide a feedback on what we experienced as let's say an outcome of our first project, in order to be elected to the next step for the 4 coming years after that 3 years period. a dedicated form, application form, just limited to 2 pages, will be available soon. That document is still under discussion, and in this 2-page document, well, people will have to describe, well, who they are, what they want to create, what kind of course they want to create, what will be the contact person, how long, how many students, what kind of students, what level, bachelor, master, and so on. How many hours of lecture given by who, how many hours of student project given by who, what could be the global guidelines of the evaluation. So nothing very original, but well, a description, some preliminary elements of what will be the course, what are the targeted skills, of course, how the course, the 30 hours will be organized. Well, that's some elements that we will need, that the academic council will need to evaluate whether the course should be eligible for the Université label or not. And we expect this 2-page document fulfilled before summer. And well, my last slides will be for the list of the contacts here. Well, you have the different names of the different persons involved in all your universities here. Once again, I repeat that these slides will be available online soon, and that you will be able to find them as soon, well, not as soon as you want, but soon on the website, on the Université website. And feel free to contact the person in charge in your own university to have additional elements or information that I did not mention. And that's for WP3. And for WP4, which is related to innovative pedagogical models and digital tools, here are the list of the local contacts in the different partner universities. I mentioned previously the academic council, which would be the key council to decide. Well, you can see here that all the universities are involved in this council, and you can probably see that some students are involved in indeed in all the councils, but also in that one. So students coming from different universities here will be part of the decision. So that's one of the, well, I mentioned cornerstone before, but one of the key principles of that project as well is that the students must be and are involved in the different elements, different parts, different moments of that global project. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening, and we are ready for questions and answers. So I'm gonna stop my sharing the screen. Okay.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there weren't questions in the chat. Everybody was listening attentively. Manon will correct me if I'm wrong. And so basically it's all questions now. If somebody has a question, please feel free to ask us.
Well, okay, you can.
Well, good afternoon, thank you. I have to admit that I haven't been quite familiar with the project until 1 hour ago, so it was very interesting to join. I'm an art historian from Dusseldorf, and I'm more or less also involved in other interdisciplinary projects where we also had the problem of different time schedules of the semester. So in a joint project with the University of Strasbourg, we tried to figure out the schedules of the semester somehow, and that turned out to be a big obstacle actually. So is that a point where you have a concept? I mean, I think Germany is more or less the only country at this moment that is slightly off in semester rhythm to most of the other countries. Is that something you took into account into your plans, or how could this could this be fixed in this structure of the courses?
Maybe I don't have a full and completely satisfying answer to this question. Yes, indeed, I have to be fully honest. But please consider that the course we are targeting are only 30 hours long. You know, we don't want to create hundreds of hours, which would be very complex to include in the existing programs. So, well, I don't know how to proceed, how you can solve that problem, but only 30 hours, and we don't think it could be impossible to find a room for 30 hours in a semester, in a month or something. And you can proceed as you want. You know, you can dedicate 1 week. You can say, okay, the module will be 30 hours long, then it will be only during 1 week. So. Okay. We stop everything in the different curricula, and well, we have the courses, the common courses during 1 week. That's one option. But you can also say that, well, you can have some particular meetings on the every Monday afternoon during, I don't know, maybe 3 months. Or well, the French will work on the Monday afternoon, and the German or the Swedish will learn on I don't know, in the Friday afternoon or Friday morning, and sometimes they will meet, of course, because if you want the students to meet, then you have to give them some free slots during which they could meet. So once again, flexibility is the keyword.
So what we have looked at the moment is the basic timeline structure. So year 1 analysis, year 2 make the courses, and year 3 give the courses. Nobody complained about that except the fact that we have to go very fast at the beginning to keep up that schedule. But I think there's going to need to be a lot of work done next year to think how we're actually going to give these courses. Okay, at the moment we're thinking very much on how to make them, but we're going to have to start thinking very, very soon about how we're going to give them. And there are lots of different possibilities that Pascal mentioned, but we have to think very much about this. Okay, so what we said for the 3rd year is experimental. So in 2 different universities, so the host university and another university. But yeah, we have to think how to do it. This could be as part of an option, or this could be as part of something else additional that's offered to the students, part of a summer school, and so on. Well, Pascal said it all already. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Marlena Hoffmann speaking. Thank you for this excellent introduction. I have one question concerning your experience. So at present, our master courses are composed of a fixed number of ECTS. How are you going to incorporate these additional 3 ECTS in your programs? Are you deleting any of your present lectures, or will it be above the present limit? How are you dealing with this?
Well, I think that, Maulena, you're right, that the 2 possibilities could be considered. You know, in a short-term perspective, the ACTS, the free ECTS could be additional ECTS, but in a longer perspective, you could think about replacing something, an existing part of the program, by this course. Indeed, yeah. Well, I don't have any fixed opinion and answers which would be mandatory. You know, we will have to cope with the existing programs and the local well regulations and And the agendas of the masters here, as mentioned before, when they start, when they finish, when they end. So we are in an experimental phase, indeed. So we have to experiment.
So I was thinking to replace, for instance, 2 seminars by the new course. It would somehow suit. 2 of them are of 2 CTS, so it will be 3 replacing 4, but it would still suit. But perhaps you have better ideas. Yeah.
No, I don't have better ideas.
Yeah, again, this is something that really needs discussing once we find some time. We will need to discuss in the WP3 meetings how we actually insert these courses into existing programs and so on and so on. But we have to have in mind again, like the Pascal presented, yeah, this 3-year and 7-year vision. Okay, so the 3-year vision is to do this experimentally. So somehow these courses are available. Maybe students follow them even if they don't have ECTS, simply because they're interesting. Okay. And the idea is then to fit them into the programs in the next 4 years. Yeah. So if we can fit them in the 3 years, we're happy. But in the 3 years is to make the courses and show that we can give them in 2 different places.
Yeah. If you don't have any other question, I would like to close this session. Well, just one last thing. Just one last thing. Oops. Well, if you have other questions, then I mentioned again the list of the contact persons in the different universities here. Those persons are related to WP3, all right? Only WP3. Well, you can suppose, and you will be right, that there are other contact persons for the other WPs, of course, and I previously mentioned these people here for WP4, for example, right? So the contact person are mentioned here. There is a general email address as well for Université, which is hello@université.eu, and as well, please, probably before asking your question, please refer to the Université website, in which you will find the full details regarding the project itself, the different committees, what are the objectives of the committees, who are in these committees, what are the objectives of the project, an agenda as well. So many informations that I did not mention here, because that webinar was dedicated to WP3.3, how to create courses and the 5-star system. So before you leave, I will drop in the chat. I will drop the invitations for the next webinars, and so of course feel free to share this information with some of your colleagues who might be interested, of course.
I think Manon did it already, but if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Manon.
You're welcome.
I couldn't see. Oh, that's it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, if you don't have any other question, last chance to ask your question. No. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No other question. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you. You know, you're free. You're free for the weekend. I don't know what is the weather in your home country, but in here it's completely cloudy, and the weekend is not expected to be very nice. But well, anyway, we'll have to deal with this. So anyway, thank you very much indeed. Well, if you have any other question, feel free to ask. And if you think that I was clear enough to for you or for some other participants, for other people in your own university, well, I could organize that kind of webinar once again, another run, if you feel it well necessary. But I hope that that it could be that this seminar could be available online. I'll check as soon as I close the session. I will check if it has been recorded properly, and if you can, if someone can access to that recorded seminar in good conditions. Anyway, we are able to. We will be pleased to answer your questions. And well, in order to make it this project, this great project, successful. Thank you very much for attending, and have a nice weekend. Goodbye.